this is Ree here. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate all of you. All thanks to Kali Ma. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing. It really helps me a lot. Don't forget to check out my website, paradxastrology.com. Book your consultation today. I can help you with anything. And if you would like more exclusive occult videos that I don't post on YouTube, consider subscribing to my Patreon. It also helps support this channel. Okay, let's get into this video. This is for January 2024. We're here. Let's get started on the predictions for the month. Now, if you're new here, this is mostly for the world. Some predictions will be for you as well. This year, I will start doing predictions for all ascendants, so that will be coming up shortly. And also, I will have predictions for the entire year coming up. After this video, there will be one for numerology, and then I'll have an entire video breaking down all the transits and everything I see in astrology happening in 2024. So January starts with Mercury in retrograde at the Gandanta point in Scorpio in Jesta Nakshatra, but it will be turning direct on this day, so in that Gandanta point. Now, this may cause an event on or around this day, as it is in a Mars sign, and Mars is very powerful right now, as it's making a mutual exchange with Jupiter in Aries. Also, Mars is aspecting Gemini, so these mercurial challenges can be seen in the areas of communication and travel, just to mention a couple. Mars will be at 3 degrees, which is conjunct the galactic center, which is a star. It's not an actual center, it's a star. For those who don't know, it's a fixed star, which can bring huge awakenings for the world and for mankind. Transformations, change, a shift in energy and consciousness, and a release in healing. It will be at 4 degrees Sagittarius on January 2nd, clear from the Gandanta point. Mars will be making a mutual exchange, like I said, with Jupiter, and this will be great for people, especially because now Jupiter is moving forward and is no longer moving in retrograde motion. I made an entire video about the Mars transit, and you can check it out here or here, one of them. I go over everything to do with Mars in detail. Now, this will give strength to both Jupiter and Mars, so Aries and Sagittarius. Optimism and faith will come back. We have bravery and determination now, and willpower to get through any challenge, and the knowledge as well to do so. The only thing is that Mars is now aspecting Rahu by the 4th aspect, and we must be cautious of this in the matters of world affairs, especially when it comes to war and the weather, and also real estate. War is intensifying around the world and will continue to do so, especially in Purvashada, which has a lot to do with declarations of war. The good news is that it's no longer aspecting Saturn as it was in Scorpio, which was a lot more difficult in my opinion. Rahu can amplify Mars in so many positive ways, such as courage and strength, but it can also bring very unexpected events. This can be positive as well in the likes of being able to conquer something. Also, remember that Hanuman, the monkey god, which is Mars, is an immortal and has the ability to defeat armies of demons and has the knowledge of all scriptures. Now we have to be careful that this energy is directed in the correct manner, because if you have a badly placed Rahu in your chart, or if any of the countries have a badly placed Rahu, this can go to any means necessary to get what it wants and to gain power, and this power can easily be corrupted. January 7th, Mercury goes into Sagittarius until February 1st. Caution to Mercury until January 16th, roughly, because this is when it leaves the crucial Gandanta point. So Joni Patri, the astrologer, and she's super amazing and very inspiring to me, she talks about this being a point of drowning. And in Canada, in the last few days or a week or so, many people have drowned and fallen through ice into the icy rivers and died. And this was as Mars was aspecting Saturn, which can cause accidents. So that is definitely a point of drowning. It could be drowning in sorrows or literally drowning. So Mercury in the world, it means all communication, general trade and commerce, stock markets, scientific organizations, computer programming, industries in general. We can find ourselves while it's in that Gandanta point. Now, those are the subjects that it can affect. But at the Gandanta point also, we can come across people who are liars, forgers, pickpocketers, cheaters, fraudulent. And also we must have caution because there could be accidents involving transport and water as well. On January 11th, we're going to have a new moon, which will be in Purvashada, which is Sagittarius. This is a representation of the High Priestess in the Tarot deck, which is the revealer of all secrets, the one who has all the secret knowledge from the mystery schools. She holds the key. This nakshatra is related to sage Palahu, which is one of the celestial sages looking after all the affairs of the galaxy. The name of the sage translates into connector of space. This is everything hidden from view, like in the deep waters, like what's happening right now in the Red Sea. It's been shut down and there's been repeated attacks. In my previous videos, I did talk about that there could be some kind of accident involving water that definitely came about, but in a different way, obviously, than I expected. This is also the consciousness that the High Priestess can access. It's the key to immortality. Like I mentioned before, this nakshatra is used for declarations of war, to fan the flames and to conceal information. The information that was revisited when Mercury retrograded here in this area was revealed, and then now it's time to take action upon what was revealed. More information will be leaked in this pada, and some people will be angry about it. Now, this pada also is secretive, it's hidden. It's about hidden mystery aspect of this nakshatra. Here lies two extremes. It's about the occult and it's about the material side of life. So this is good for gaining secret information like occult knowledge or secret information of the world, and it's also good for foreign affairs. That's why we could see some problems having to do with the war and foreign affairs as well. Now, there'll be a mutual exchange with the 11th and the 5th house, so it's good for children, good for creative pursuits, good for education, romance, and good for organizations and gains in all matters, social activities as well, to name a few. There'll be aggressive communication and accidents are possible, also intense matters of war and violence. Mars is aspecting Rahu in the 4th house. So this means that there will be some issues and unexpected with the homeland, with people opposing the government, democracy, municipal politics, anything to do with agriculture, mines, lands, public buildings, housing, real estate, hotels, and weather conditions such as floods, landslides, forest fires, volcano eruptions, mining, disasters, earthquakes, schools, colleges. So there could be a major weather disaster that could have to do also with snow in certain countries as well. We have to be careful of this aspect with Rahu all month, this 4th aspect. So all of these things can come about all month. So I'm going to have a separate video of all the moons as I always do. So check back and then I'll break that down more in detail of what's going to happen. Now, January 14th, the sun will be entering Capricorn. So it's highlighting themes around business, government, politics, and property as well. We can become more ambitious, yet practical and more serious, and have a lot more work to be done during this time. Workload may increase. Some may feel tired or lack of vitality, and that's probably because a lot of people are coming back from their vacations. Venus will be entering Sagittarius on January 18th, and Venus is also conjunct Mercury by sign, giving us a more pleasant communication rather than the obsessive behaviors that we had previously when Venus was in Scorpio and also when Mars was there as well. On January 16th, Venus will be at the Gandanta point in Scorpio and will enter Sagittarius on the 18th and will exit the Gandanta point on January 22nd. So between that time, the 16th and the 27th, anything to do with relationships, luxury items, clothing, jewelry, business partnerships, love, compassion, to name a few things, will be at risk during this time. So caution with those things. January 23rd, Mars and Mercury will be 3 degrees apart and start to inch closer. Now, the exact conjunction will happen on January 27th. It will be at 22 degrees and remain close until the beginning of February when Mars enters Capricorn. This can create a major war or weather disaster, affecting the homeland, the people of the country, and the land and real estate. I see a weather disaster happening at the end of this month and beginning February in the US, because the last time these transits happened and this occurred, we also had Hurricane Katrina. The reason for that is Mars and Mercury will conjunct while the Sun will be conjunct natal K2 in the US's chart. Also, the exact aspect between Mars, fourth aspect aspecting Rahu, will happen on January 28th. So there is a major event happening around there, and I do believe it has to do with weather, but I could be wrong. It could be having to do with something else, but you can check my Mars video and I really break down why I see this happening in the US and other countries as well. Now, we'll have a full moon on January 25th, and that's going to be in Pusha, which is in Cancer. This translates to the nourisher, and it is nourishing or yielding. Its ancient name is Tisha, which translates to auspicious, and Siddhya, meaning prosperous. It has the ability to nourish, just like its symbol, which is the cow. The cow is the universal mother. It's also on our journey where we can come home safely and rest our head without any fear. It also is the representation of a flower, of when you blossom, when you're 16 years old and you still live at home, so you still have the comfort and the protection of home, but you're blossoming. It's like being in your mother's arms is what it represents, which is great having the moon there. For some, that will be very good. That'll be very nourishing and very positive. The one thing we do have to look at, though, is that nakshatra lord, which is Saturn, which will be in the 8th house. Now, the 8th house signifies the demise sometimes of national rulers or kings or state funerals, the cabinet of the prime minister or president, the state treasury. It also is public debt, foreign debt, trading, stock markets, legacies, executions, scientific organizations, medical discoveries, anything related to insurance companies, pensioners, social security benefits, and a risk through war or national disasters. Sudden events in married life or partnerships, business, or anyone in front of you may change and transform. This can also be the affairs we deal with privately after marriage. That's what makes me do believe that this could be in a weather event that occurs around the 27th, 28th, right after this moon. The Mars and Mercury conjunction will be in the 6th house, like I mentioned, showing us that there could be losses in the matter of war, the homeland, strikes, weather disasters, employment, accidents involving transportation are possible. I'll go more into depth about that moon and the other transits as well in upcoming videos when we get to that point. That's just a little bit of what I see. I really appreciate you watching. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one.